understand, Honorable Mayor, Council. I'm here to answer any questions that you'd like.
Well, I guess my question is, what made you select one truck over the other?
Okay. The interesting thing, and I really want to applaud the committee who did this, because they put hundreds of hours into time in making these decisions. So when we first got together to make this decision, we had to spec out what was going to be the best vehicle for this city. And if you take a look at the vehicle we have right now, the 100-foot ladder truck, it really doesn't work well for our city. And a lot of the reasons are the turning radius, the size of it, and the actual application of it. So we did a lot of research. We weighed and measured. And if you turn to the last page of the memo that I wrote, the E1 stabilizer jack system is unique in itself. And there's two reasons why this jack system is preferred over the Pierce. And that was the other choice that we had. But there's two reasons why that was preferred. Number one, if you take a look at some of the areas that we serve out in like the prairie area and some of those roads that we have back there, very difficult time getting in. The jack system is actually shorter, and it'll allow us to use this truck in areas that we can't use the truck that we have in now. It's a shorter stabilization position, and it'll actually help us jack that truck up and work in certain areas that we wouldn't be able to work in. The other issue with that is with the jacking system they have, the way it's built into the system, it gives us twice the storage space that the other vehicle has. The other issue with that, going back to some of the subdivisions and some of the apartment complexes that we're making, the tight turns and the tight grooves that you get into, bear with me while I go to this page here, and I have a handout that I would be happy to give you that gives you all of the comparisons between the E1, the Pierce, and the Seagrave. When you talk about maneuvering a vehicle of this size, turning radius is extremely, extremely important. And the inside turning radius of the E1 is at 19.7, where the Pierce and the Seagrave are at over 22. So you've got a huge difference in turning radius to be able to get this vehicle in and out of areas. You take a look at the truck that we have now, the response of that truck is, and it's one of those things that you call a necessary evil, because it doesn't respond like a fire truck. It doesn't run out of the house every time that we have a fire call. It responds to all structure fires and all serious type of calls. The new truck that we've ordered, with the wheelbase and with the turning radius and with the ability to get into the certain tight areas that we have in this city, this vehicle will be able to use it more like a fire engine. We'll get a lot more use out of this vehicle. We'll put twice the miles on this thing that we did the last vehicle we had. This vehicle just makes nothing but sense in regards to, as I stated, it also has a steel ladder on it. Now this steel ladder is, number one, they've never had a failure of this ladder. They've never had a problem with one of these ladders. A steel ladder is so much sturdier and so much more comfortable for our people to climb. It's wider, and its weight is absolutely unbelievable. The other big issue that we have is safety. We have a lot of people who drive these different fire trucks, and safety is our biggest issue, not only for our people, but for our residents in maneuvering this vehicle. The strength of the aluminum in this vehicle, bear with me.
And then I'm going to cut it off, Chris.
Okay.
We've got a lot to do.
Is rated at 100,000 PSI as compared to 700,000 PSI for the other vehicle. This is just a much safer vehicle. And the last point that we have to make is the last vehicle that we bought was a Pierce. Pierce was a legendary vehicle in its time. The biggest problem with the Pierce in the last two that we bought, we've been having nothing but problems. Engine 3 that we've had has been in and out of service about 20% of its life. And Pierce their quality is just not what it used to be. And they came in very low on their bid, lower than I've ever seen. And I think it's because they were afraid they were going to lose us. And at the end of the day, every person on our committee except for 2 voted to make the E1 the vehicle of choice.
Thank you, Chris. Russ, does that,
No, just a quick question.
Okay.
On the city has 3 options of purchase. Pay the apparatus upon completion, prepaid the entire amount for the apparatus, the performance bond, or prepaid a portion and save $20,000.
Correct.
What are you all going to, my question to that is, what's your decision going to be on this?
Well, that's already built into it. The $500,000 that goes in is built into every one of these prices.
So option 3, my thinking is prepay the portion of apparatus and deduct 3% simple interest for the amount prepaid and create a savings of $20,000. What I would personally do is, but
That is what we're doing.
is that what you're doing?
Yeah, that is.
You have 3 options. I was just
Yeah,
curious.
if you take a look at those options, that is the one that we chose. So that price
Oh, we're
is
saying
involved in that, yeah. If you were to actually put down another $200,000 on that vehicle, then you could save maybe another another $4,000. The more money you put down, the more you would save.
And I understand that if we have the money sitting there, we aren't making any interest. My thought is put the money towards it because you're saving it on the side. 3% savings is sure better than getting 0.75 in our financial institutions. All I'm trying to say is the more, if we have the money sitting there waiting, the more we put, the easier it is. That's why.
Sir, I don't disagree with you, but when this was presented actually a week or so before I came, it was set up in that way to put $500,000 down and $700,000 the second year. So that choice wasn't made by me, that was predetermined before I even got involved with the situation.
And interest rates change too.
I agree with you, sir. I don't agree. There's numerous ways that you could make changes here and save more money.
Go for it. Save money.
Hey, I'm all in. If we want to put $700,000 this year and 5 next year, I'm all in.